Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Father is a term of address for priests in some churches, especially the Roman Catholic Church or the Orthodox Catholic Church. Padre is frequently used in the military. A male parent, also used as a term of address to your father. His father was born in Atlanta. Christianity. Any of about 70 theologians in the period from the 2nd to the 7th century whose writing established and confirmed official church doctrine. In the Roman Catholic Church, some were later declared saints and became doctor of the Church. The best-known Latin Church Fathers are Ambrose, Augustine, Gregory the Great, and Jerome. Those who wrote in Greek include Athanasius, Basil, Gregory Nazianzen, and John Chrysostom. The founder of a family. Keep the faith of our forefathers. Make offspring by reproduction. John fathered 4 daughters. The head of an organized crime family. God when considered as the first person in the Trinity. A person who founds or establishes some institution. George Washington is the father of his country. A person who holds an important or distinguished position in some organization. The Tennis Fathers ruled in her favor. Father is a term of address for priests in some churches, especially the Roman Catholic Church or the Orthodox Catholic Church. Padre is frequently used in the military. A chaplain in one of the military services. A male parent, also used as a term of address to your father. A male parent, also used as a term of address to your father. Christianity. Any of about 70 theologians in the period from the 2nd to the 7th century whose writing established and confirmed official church doctrine. In the Roman Catholic Church, some were later declared saints and became doctor of the Church. The best-known Latin Church Fathers are Ambrose, Augustine, Gregory the Great, and Jerome. Those who wrote in Greek include Athanasius, Basil, Gregory Nazianzen, and John Chrysostom. Christianity. Any of about 70 theologians in the period from the 2nd to the 7th century whose writing established and confirmed official church doctrine. In the Roman Catholic Church, some were later declared saints and became doctor of the Church. The best-known Latin Church Fathers are Ambrose, Augustine, Gregory the Great, and Jerome. Those who wrote in Greek include Athanasius, Basil, Gregory Nazianzen, and John Chrysostom. The founder of a family. Keep the faith of our forefathers. Person from an earlier time who contributed to the tradition shared by some group. Our forefathers brought forth a great nation. The founder of a family. Make offspring by reproduction. A title of address formerly used for a man of rank and authority. Male parent of an animal, especially a domestic animal such as a horse. Make offspring by reproduction. Make offspring by reproduction. Bring into existence. Bring out for display. Bring forth or yield. Call forth. Make offspring by reproduction. Make offspring by reproduction. Bring into existence. The new manager generated a lot of problems. Give or supply. Produce energy. We can't generate enough power for the entire city. Reach with a blow or hit in a particular spot. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Leave immediately. Used usually in the imperative form. Perceive by hearing. She didn't get his name when they met the first time. undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Give certain properties to something. Get someone mad. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Suffer from the receipt of. Receive as a retribution or punishment. Take vengeance on or get even. We'll get them. Achieve a point or goal. Move into a desired direction of discourse. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Get an idea. Irritate. Her childish behavior really get to me. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. Apprehend and reproduce accurately. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. It must be getting more serious. Attract and fix. Receive a specified treatment, abstract. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Come into the possession of something concrete or abstract. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Reach a destination. Arrive by movement or progress. She didn't get to Chicago until after midnight. Go or come after and bring or take back. Grasp with the mind or develop an understanding of. Did you get it? Acquire as a result of some effort or action. You cannot get water out of a stone. A return on a shot that seemed impossible to reach and would normally have resulted in a point for the opponent. Communicate with a place or person. Establish communication with, as if by telephone. The operator couldn't get Kobe because of the earthquake. Evoke an emotional response. Brahms's Requiem gets me every time. Overcome or destroy. Purchase. What did you get at the toy store? Reach and board. Reach by calculation. What do you get when you add up these numbers? Make, offspring, by reproduction. A woman who has given birth to a child, also used as a term of address to your mother. The mother of 3 children. Care for like a mother. A condition that is the inspiration for an activity or situation. Necessity is the mother of invention. A stringy slimy substance consisting of yeast cells and bacteria. Forms during fermentation and is added to cider or wine to produce vinegar. A term of address for a mother superior. A term of address for an elderly woman. The head of an organized crime family. Teacher at a university or college, especially at Cambridge or Oxford. Put clothing on one's body. The princess donned a long blue dress. A European river in southwestern Russia flows into the Sea of Azov. A Spanish courtesy title or form of address for men that is prefixed to the forename. A Spanish gentleman or nobleman. Celtic goddess. Mother of Gwydion and Arianrhod, corresponds to Irish Danu. God when considered as the first person in the Trinity. God when considered as the first person in the Trinity. The kinship relation between an offspring and the father. The status of a father. The status of a religious leader. Someone new to a field or activity. A person who founds or establishes some institution. Fail utterly, collapse. The project foundered. Inflammation of the laminated tissue that attaches the hoof to the foot of a horse. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A person who founds or establishes some institution. A worker who makes metal castings. Sink below the surface. Stumble and nearly fall. The horses foundered. A person who founds or establishes some institution. A member of the Constitutional Convention that drafted the United States Constitution in 1787. An identifying appellation signifying status or function, e.g., Mr. or General. An identifying appellation signifying status or function, e.g., Mr. or General. A person who performs religious duties and ceremonies in a non-Christian religion. A clergyman in Christian churches who has the authority to perform or administer various religious rites, one of the holy orders. A heading that names a statute or legislative bill, may give a brief summary of the matters it deals with. Designate by an identifying term. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He kept the title to his car in the glove compartment. The status of being a champion. He held the title for 2 years. An identifying appellation signifying status or function, e.g., Mr. or General. The professor didn't like his friends to use his formal title. An established or recognized right. He had no documents confirming his title to his father's estate. An informal right to something. His title to fame. Give a title to. A general or descriptive heading for a section of a written work. The novel had chapter titles. An appellation signifying nobility. Your Majesty is the appropriate title to use in addressing a king. The name of a work of art or literary composition, etc. He looked for books with the word jazz in the title. Usually plural, written material introduced into a movie or TV show to give credits or represent dialogue or explain an action. The titles go by faster than I can read. Look after a child until it is an adult. A father or mother. One who begets or one who gives birth to or nurtures and raises a child. A relative who plays the role of guardian. An organism, plant or animal, from which younger ones are obtained. Someone who is learned in theology or who speculates about theology. Someone who is learned in theology or who speculates about theology. Someone who is learned in theology or who speculates about theology. Someone who is learned in theology or who speculates about theology. Someone from whom you are descended, but usually more remote than a grandparent. Position or state of being dominant or in control. That idea was in the ascendant. Most powerful or important or influential. The economically ascendant class. Tending or directed upward. Rooted and ascendant strength like that of foliage. someone from whom you are descended, but usually more remote than a grandparent. Anything that precedes something similar in time. Phrenology was an antecedent of modern neuroscience. A preceding occurrence or cause or event. Preceding in time or order. The referent of an anaphor, a phrase or clause that is referred to by an anaphoric pronoun.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.